Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Luxury Kings. Today I'll be covering the 5 highest selling pop albums of all time. Let's get into the video. Number 5, ABBA, Gold, Greatest Hits. ABBA are an iconic Swedish pop group who dominated the airwaves in the mid to late 70s. Their unique sound and poppy melodies are still very much adored today. Their 1992 compilation album, Gold, The Greatest Hits, was released in 1992 and quickly became one of the top-selling albums of all time. With 30 million copies sold, it became ABBA's most successful release and gave fans a heavy dose of their classics. The original 1992 release included 19 of their hits, though the record was later re-released to include an additional second disc, with 11 more tracks. Classic pop listening, this album is definitely one of the greatest pop records of all time. Number 4, Madonna, The Immaculate Collection. Madonna is one of the most notorious and influential musical artists of our time. Respectfully coined the Queen of Pop, Madonna's career has spanned over 5 decades and has included the release of 14 full-length albums. Her rebellious nature and shock value was part of her appeal, especially in the late 80s and early 90s, when women in pop culture were starting to experiment more with nonconformity. In 1990, a compilation of some of her best hits called The Immaculate Collection was released. The album received rave reviews and is considered as a required pop album for any collector. With over 30 million copies sold, it became Madonna's best-selling album according to music fandom and is one of the most iconic albums of the late 20th century. Number 3, Adele, 21. Adele came onto the music scene in 2008 when her debut album 19 was released. Her strong vocals and deep lyrics gained her a mass following of fans, and she quickly became a household name in the pop music world. Her follow-up album 21 was released in 2011 and reached 14 times platinum in the US. The concept album is filled with emotional lyrics and difficult themes. The album was inspired by a breakup, and her powerful breakup ballads quickly became anthems for anyone who has suffered through a broken heart. With sales of over 31 million copies, 21 became one of the fastest-selling pop records of all time. The fact that Adele was only 21 years old when this record was recorded and released only adds to the immensity of this accomplishment.
I'm willing to take the risk. It was great because I was a little bit, I didn't know how it would end up in the final. I thought it might be a bit kind of over.
Number 2, Michael Jackson, Bad. No one has quite been able to make pop music the way the iconic legend Michael Jackson did. He is notably one of the best musicians who have ever lived, and leaves behind a huge legacy. The king of pop himself, Michael Jackson, released 10 studio albums before his tragic death in 2009. His best-selling album, Bad, was released in 1987 and became the soundtrack to late 80s life for teens around the world. Selling over 35 million copies worldwide, it became only one of the top-selling albums of all time. Some of his biggest hits like Smooth Criminal, The Way You Make Me Feel, and the title track Bad appeared on this album. Number 1, Michael Jackson, Thriller. The top-selling pop album of all time goes to Michael Jackson's 1982 album, Thriller. With an incredible 66 million copies sold worldwide and reaching platinum status 33 times in the United States, the album is not only the top-selling pop album, but the top-selling album across all genres ever. Recorded at the Westlake Recording Studios in Los Angeles, the album was produced by legendary music mogul Quincy Jones. Michael blended disco, pop, rock, and funk sounds to make this masterpiece of an album. From start to finish, it is loaded with non-stop energy and grooves that just make you want to dance. This is an absolute must for any pop music collection. Almost 40 years later, it's still the best. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.